Hello dear students, in today's video we are going to see the second part of the chapter life process, and this part we will mainly discuss about nutrition in human beings. We all know that human beings, they are heterotrophic in nature because we depend on plants and animals in order to obtain our nutrition. So here is our digestive system, as we can see in the picture. So this is our mouth, and inside the mouth tongue is there, teeth is there, and just above upper and lower there are salivary glands are there. So salivary glands, the digestion starts from the mouth itself. So suppose if you take 1 ml of saliva and 1 ml of starch solution or pulverized rice solution, so if you mix it properly and keep it for 20 to 30 minutes, so after that if you test this particular solution with the help of few drops of iodine, so what will you observe? The solution will immediately turn to blue color. So this test predicts that the starch is now digested into glucose. So that means digestion starts from mouth itself. So that's why when you chew rice or something, chapati, for 10 to 22 times, so what happens? So the mouth food becomes sweet. And similarly you can see the mouth, as soon as the food is just mixed with the saliva with the help of tongue and pulverized properly with the help of teeth, so it will slowly push into the oesophagus. See, at this particular part there you can see in the throat, so there are two pipes. One pipe that is called windpipe that takes the air from the nostrils to this particular lungs. So this particular region, this area is called pharynx. And here you can see, suppose by chance if you laugh or something excited, so what happens? The food sometimes may enter into the windpipe, so which is very dangerous. So in order to prevent that, there is a flap-like structure that covers this particular windpipe. So that part is called epiglottis. So that will prevent the entry of food into the windpipe. So the pulverized food now slowly and lubricated with saliva now slowly moves into the oesophagus. So that is the second pipe which is right behind the windpipe. So oesophagus, once the food enters into the oesophagus, there is a process called peristalsis. So this particular food, which is in the form of small round shape, so that will slowly gets pushed into the stomach through this pipe-like structure. So it will move slowly and gradually it reaches stomach. So just above the stomach, that separates the lungs and other internal organs that are below it, that is stomach and liver, this particular muscular part that is called diaphragm. So we will discuss about it in the later part. So what happens to the food once it reaches inside the stomach? So stomach contains the inner secretory glands that secretes two secretions, mainly HCl, hydrochloric acid. So what is the importance of hydrochloric acid? So hydrochloric acid, as you know, it is acidic in nature. So it creates an acidic medium for the enzyme pepsin to act on proteins. For this enzyme, that is also known as biocatalyst, so that act on food particles and helps it to digest. And protein digestion enzyme, that is called pepsin. So once the food passes into the stomach, so what happens? The food will get mixed with the hydrochloric acid as well as the protein content. So we know that there are different nutrients that are essential substances that are required by our body. So carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, these fats and minerals. So these are all very essential for the survival of our body. And so first part, so food gets mixed with HCl, so the pH is around 4.5. So in that region, so what happens? The hydrochloric acid get mixed with the food items as well as so the pepsin and the enzyme pepsin can act or digest the protein properly. So now after this particular process, what happens? The food becomes normally acidic. So sometimes you may feel acidity. So when you sometimes you may feel this gastric juice comes out into your mouth, you jiggle or do some regular hard exercise. So what happens? So you feel too much irritated in this particular part, or when you are so much hungry, you are not getting food at the right time. So what will happen? Your stomach will start burning, the burning sensation. So that is called acidity. How can we prevent acidity? By taking baking soda solution. So what is baking soda solution? It is basic in nature, so that can neutralize the excess acid present in the stomach, so that we will get some relief. So now one more function of hydrochloric acid that is present in the stomach. So which suppose if any bacteria or some microorganism, harmful microorganisms, so that are entering into the stomach, so that will be killed by hydrochloric acid. And now here you can see from the stomach, now the food starts journeying slowly into the next part, that is the small intestine, which is the longest part of the human digestive system. So at this entry gate, so there is a sphincter muscle, so that regulates the amount of food that goes from stomach to small intestine. So you cannot pump all the food into the small intestine all of a sudden. So because digestion is a very long process, so different types of food items that takes different intervals in order to digest. And slowly and gradually, small amounts of food that will get passed through this particular stomach sphincter muscles, and slowly it will move into small intestines. So before the food reaches small intestine, it receives secretions from liver. So the secretion from liver is actually bile juice. So bile juice, which is basic in nature. So the importance of bile juice that we will discuss just now. Then, so which is stored in gallbladder, and another is pancreas. So another gland, which is called pancreas. Pancreas secretes mainly two enzymes: trypsin for digesting protein and lipase for digesting fats. So these hormones also gets mixed with the food, and it as it slowly starts moving to the small intestine and the digestion. This is the region where complete digestion of the food happens. So what is the action of this bile juice? Let us see that bile juice, which is basic. We already know that stomach contains acid. Acidic food, once it reaches to small intestine, so the protein, that particular part, protein digestion is almost over, and the remaining part, that is the fat content. The fat content that remains undigested in the stomach, so which are in the form of large globules, so that cannot be digested as easily. So these large fat molecules must be broken into small fat molecules, so that the enzyme can act on this particular or digest this particular, or the lipase can digest the smaller fat molecules effectively or with more efficiency. So bile juice performs this particular breaking down of large molecules of fat into small molecules. So that process is called emulsification of fat, emulsify or emulsifying action. So it is similar to the cleaning action of soap. We will discuss in the fourth chapter. So basic medium. So mainly the major function of bile juice is to create a basic medium, so that the large fat molecules will get broken down into smaller molecules, so that the enzyme lipase can act or digest fats into fatty acids and glycerols. So now let us see what is happening inside small intestine. So small intestine is the longest tubular part. So there are different secretions that are secreted from the intestinal glands. So that digest proteins to amino acids, then carbohydrates to glucose, and fats into fatty acid and glycerol. So this is what happens in the small intestine. And in addition to that, the small intestine has got finger-like projections which are called villi. So that actually increases the surface area for the proper absorption of this digested food. So we know that the rice what we eat, that is contain carbohydrates, that cannot be directly absorbed into the blood properly. So that means, so these complex food items must be digested or broken down in order to get absorbed into the body. So there are, we already discussed different pathways of glucose digestion. So here what happens, the completely digested food, so that will be absorbed into the blood through these finger-like projections, which are richly provided with a large number of capillaries. As the food moves through this particular finger-like projections, and over this microvilli also present, so that are hair-like projections protruding out of this villi, and this will absorb the digested food, and the digested food, especially amino acid, glucose, then fatty acid and glycerol, so that will get mixed with the blood, and the blood will carry the food items to each and every cell of the human body, and wherever the preparation, it will keep providing us energy and repairing of damaged cells and tissues. So all these functions will be carried out, and slowly what happens, the undigested food, so the all that we eat may not get digested properly. So what happens, the undigested food that will slowly pass into the large intestine. So here one more sphincter muscle is there that regulates the amount of food that goes from small intestine to large intestine. So once it reaches the large intestine, so this is the ascending part of the colon, this transverse colon, and this is descending part of the large intestine. So here what happens, the undigested food that passes through this large intestine, water reabsorption will be happening, and at last this particular part, rectum, and the waste materials that will be ejected out through the from the body through anus. So these are all the major parts that are involved in the digestive system of human beings. So just go through this video carefully once again, or 2 or 3 times, so that you can understand the functions of each and every part very clearly, and also try to understand the action of different enzymes.